Hello Divinities, my name is J Simone and you're watching Awaken Connect Divinity, where I give you spirituality tips for the newly awakened to help you build a better spiritual foundation. Today we're going to be doing a review on a oracle card reading, a bit of a rune reading, energetic reading that I got from my good friend Estara. I will be linking her YouTube page. Also, she'll be linked down below if you guys are interested. Please check her out because I do definitely recommend that you guys check her out because she definitely has a lot of good knowledge and information, and I think you guys would enjoy her teaching. If you like my stuff, you'll also like her stuff. I will say that there is a little bit of a difference between the two of us, but I mean, we're all unique here. We're all, supposed to be here and be different. So if you guys don't fully resonate with what I have to say, you may resonate more with what she has to say. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. That way you guys can go check her out and decide for yourselves if you guys want to have her as one of your readers. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so that way you guys are subscribed to my channel and you get a notification every time I post if you hit the bell, so please do that as well. And it will also encourage me to continue making more content like that, and you'll be supporting the channel. I would really appreciate it. Also, make sure to check out my social media links. They will be linked, well, of course, in the description box below. I would definitely love it if you guys could check it out and say hi to me on social media. I'm trying to be more active. I know that I recently went through a period of inactivity because I have been and still am catching up on a lot of things, but I'm hoping that everything will be smooth sailing soon and everything will be caught up and I will be back on schedule. I say that a lot actually, so maybe I just need to reframe some stuff, or maybe we need to collectively focus on my hands getting better so that way I can be on time with everything and I'm not getting held up by my hands. So I had a reading back in the middle of August, like I said. I believe it was for the week, part of the week of August 13th. On particular, I believe it was August 11th, from my good friend Estara. And I know that many of you come to this community seeking answers regarding your love life, your career, your finances, everything like that. So I figured it would be a good idea to go ahead and do this reading. This is in collaboration with her. She did offer it to me because I do want to help her out with her business. However, that being said, I'm doing this non-biased as I possibly can, just because I feel like it's only fair to you guys and it's only fair to her to give you guys this non-biased review. And I mean, we're all here, we're all adults, we're not gonna not that I'm gonna say anything that'll hurt her feelings or anything like that, but we're grown adults and we should be able to give reviews. I'm not gonna give you guys a spiritual teacher that isn't gonna be helpful or anything like that. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started. If you see me looking down, I am looking at notes. I do have notes from that reading with Estara. Now, first things first, one of the first few things that you will look at for a reader is how they deliver their message, and that is definitely something that I was watching or critiquing as I was getting my reading from Estara. She is very good at delivering the message that you need to hear. She's very objective and she focuses on making sure that you hear all sides. I feel like with a lot more mainstream, well-known readers and content creators, they more focus on the positive aspects or the things that you want to hear as opposed to what you need to hear. If you're well versed in the spiritual game, you know that there's positive and negative, but that's also relative, but you know that there's a polarity between things. And most readers only focus on one polarity and not really the other polarity. So with Estara, that is one of the things that you don't have to worry about. You know that she's going to give you an impartial reading, as impartial as she can be. I mean, we're human, we make mistakes and stuff like that, but she's going to give you an impartial reading that is going to be very objective and let you know if you are the problem, because sometimes that could be the case in your situation. You could be the problem, or if there's other outside influences. The next thing that I have that I want to go over is her ability to sense and pick up on energy. Estara and I are nowhere near each other at all. I am in the US, she's in the UK. Despite there being us having some scheduling conflicts, and that could come up if you guys are trying to get a reading from her. If you're in the US and needing a reading from her, like I said, she's in the UK. So there's a 5-hour difference or something like that. There's a 5 or 6 hour difference between the US and UK. Despite that distance, she's very good at picking up on your energy. Now, she may need some more information from you to kind of pinpoint your energy, which I don't blame her for. I can definitely understand why she would need that. And she'll let you know if you feel comfortable with giving her that information or not. From what I know with energy work, though I don't personally do energy work, though I'm trying to get into it, she did ask all the right questions that are needed in order to pinpoint my energy so that she could read my energy. Estara also managed to pick up on some energetic things going on with myself that I hadn't really talked to her about. I don't believe we had talked about it before. I might have made one slight mention, but she could tell that my energy was kind of everywhere. I had a lot of ideas going on in my head at the time, and that is something I really admire about her and any reader that can do that, because this will be mentioned in my red flag section, but One thing that I worry about with readers is that they may just be like, stalking your social media page and trying to convince you to get a reading from them by looking at all your stuff and just giving you like a general summary of like what's going on in your life from what they can gather with social media, which is a red flag and why you need to be careful and vet your readers. Hopefully this video helps you with vetting your readers. Hopefully you go ahead and check out Estara if you are looking for a reading. Like I said, she and I hadn't really talked about what was going on, and we do kind of have like our own little boundaries concerning discussing personal lives. So the fact that she was able to pick up on my energy with not only the time differences, but then the fact that she's on a whole other country is just extremely amazing and should be speaking volumes to her ability as a reader. Now, I do know that she does have some professional experience. She did work for a professional tarot reading service or oracle card reading service at one point. She doesn't anymore, so that's why I definitely recommend you guys check her out. And I do want to say that even though she and I are friends, this review is going to be as impartial as possible, and I feel like her reading was as impartial as possible, despite us, like, regularly talking. So, guys, I cannot, gush about her enough. Please go check her out. She definitely has good input and good ideas for the spiritual community. Even though she and I are friends with each other, I don't think that really impacts this review, because we are both very objective, and we both try to be very objective when it comes to spiritual content, because we want to be able to provide the best information for our audience, the viewer, you, who's coming looking for this stuff because you've got questions about the universe. Her chosen medium to read from is oracle cards. Definitely keep that in mind, if that's something you're looking for in a reader as well. Just what kind of medium you kind of resonate with. Now, I don't mind that she did oracle card, just because regardless of what you choose to read with, whether it be oracle cards, tarot cards, or runes, which she also used for my reading, the medium is irrelevant because the message is going to come through regardless. Just some people need to see it with some card stock. I don't know why, but some people feel the need to see it with some card stock. If that shows you how dumb that kind of seems, but I guess the cards make it more official. Anyways, rather than just straight up telling them. Who knows? Anyways, so Estara's chosen medium is oracle cards and runes, though I do believe she's starting to work with tarot cards a lot more now. Definitely please check out her content, because with her working with tarot cards, I particularly like the deck, the look of the deck that she started using. She didn't use it with me, but she has started using tarot cards as well. Not that she needs to, just because, like I said, people that are able to read and intuitively give you messages are just using the cards to kind of back up what they're saying, because you're not trying to listen to them to begin with. Quickly, I do want to kind of go over intuitive readers that make them different from traditional readers. So intuitive readers, though they may be getting some idea or some kind of feeling from the true nature of the creator of that card has intended it to be, they are also picking up on other subtle energies that are surrounding you, how that's looking as an impact in your life. But Estara is an intuitive reader, so this is the cards to kind of help her, but she doesn't really need the cards, and that is okay. And she doesn't really use the guidebook, which is fine. That's not a problem at all. A lot of intuitive people and readers don't use the guidebooks that come with decks that kind of just go off their own feeling off the card, because you're trying to be sensitive to the person in particular that you're reading for, or to yourself. And the creator of the cards, or the creator of the guidebooks that come with tarot decks, could already be having their own energy influence on the cards as well. That's what happens if you have an intuitive reader. There are some readers that are strictly reading by the book, and so they will tell you what's going on based on just the symbolisms of the cards and the meanings of the cards. But I feel that with spirituality, cards are just a tool. I think intuition and the feelings that we get that guide us should definitely be taken into account with readings. But if you don't want that, just be aware of what kind of reader you choose, whether they're intuitive or they're traditional by the book. So another thing that I want to point out, because I'm not going to go over my personal reading just because it's personal. I'm going to keep that to myself. I mean, that's between me and her. However, if you're super sensitive and you're going to cry over every little thing, then you're gonna need more than her being gentle with you. You probably just need to not even have a reading. You may not even be fit cut for spirituality. I don't want to say that, but spirituality is taking a deep look at yourself. And if you can't handle the mirror being pointed at yourself, you need to take a step back. You may need to solve some other problems before you start trying to get a reading. Anyways, she's very good at pointing out anywhere where you could be influencing something, or anywhere where you may not be influencing something, which definitely played a role in my reading, and I will talk about that, because she was able to pick up on energies of other parties that could be affecting my personal reading, and she was able to tell that I was not part of those energies, so to speak, like connected to any of those energies that may have been playing a role. But like, I had like a minuscule connection, but I wasn't myself included in those energies that may have been impacting it, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to describe it. I mean, other than telling y'all what I got for the reading, but I don't want to do that. Now, her reading definitely left me feeling very encouraged, and I do think that's important for a lot of readers, is to leave their client feeling empowered, because when you're a reader, a lot of times people are coming to you for questions about life, questions about career, questions about finances, literally anything, questions on fertility, and just providing guidance to the client is definitely something that readers should be aware of and take into account. And I feel like Estara did a good job at that, especially with warning me and letting me know that I need to keep an eye on protections. I'll kind of discuss that maybe like a little bit about like the whole warning on protections that she gave me. Providing clients with actionable steps that they can take after a reading and just keeping the client empowered is definitely important, and definitely something that you need to be on the lookout for with a reader. Like, you don't want a reader that's just gonna like make you keep having to come back. You should look for a reader that's going to help you troubleshoot a problem and solve the problem, and you don't feel pressured to come back, or you don't feel like they've manipulated you into constantly needing them. Instead, you feel like you're able to take charge of your situation. They've given you the guidance that you needed, or confirmation that you needed, because sometimes people seek out readers for confirmation of things as well. So you'll feel like you've gotten the confirmation you needed. You'll feel like you can go ahead and move forward. And then if you reach another roadblock, you may feel like you need to, go to Estara again, or any other reader again. A good reader is not going to leave you feeling like you need to consult them for every breath you need to take. Okay? Now, going to like the protection portion of the reading, because I said I would discuss that. Let me know that I need to be aware of my protections and stuff like that. I did not take that advice for a while, but I believe I'm the strongest force in my life, so I didn't really take the protection warning into account. I didn't feel like it was super necessary. It's just when you're active in spirituality, you do want to take steps to protect yourself in different ways, and it's something that should be regularly done. However, her message was to kind of beef up my already in place protections. Like I said, I didn't do this for weeks. The only reason I ended up doing it was because I was personally tired of having to go through energy clearing. I discussed this on my live. There's someone in my life right now that like whenever they like come into my living space, they bring in like this very low vibrational energy, and for some like possibly an actual entity is like attached to them. I can't really tell. Every time they come down here, it like leaves something. It lowers the vibration of my living space. I felt like her warning was more so to add in more protection so I didn't have to continue to cleanse my space, because that was just like the irritating part, was just I was having to continually cleanse my space, but I didn't feel like I was in danger or anything like that. I felt like the protections just kind of added another layer to energy that I was already exuding and already molding and enforcing in my life. Protections were just for me to have to stop clearing energy. But overall, she was very, very good. I felt like she was accurate. She was able to pick up my energy and stuff like that. Some warnings and some red flags for looking out for when you get a reading, and just some other stuff to look out for with readers. So with readers, you want to be wary of who has access to your energy. I did communicate with my spiritual team that Estara was going to be allowed to access my energy for that specific amount of time for doing that reading, and to allow her to access it. So she was able to do so. She was able to make a connection with my spiritual team as well, which was interesting during the reading, and also what I feel kind of speaks volumes to her abilities and her predictions. When getting a reader, you want to keep in mind that there is not so much about accuracy, it's that they're reading the energy at the present time, and if that energy were to continue as it were. Our world is not something that's stagnant. Energy doesn't just stay the same. So you could make choices and decisions that could alter the outcome of a reading, or like negate portions of a reading. For example, with my reading, Estara was able to identify 3 blessings coming to me. Now, I only saw 2 that I can think of that stood out to me from my reading. That third one either could have been, like, I could have made choices to negate it, or it could have happened behind the scenes in a space that I wasn't aware of, and I may see it like in the future, but it was just something that did happen at that time. I don't think it was something that would have been taken away from me, because she pointed out the blessing was my ancestors were giving the knowledge of that blessing. So that is something that you want to keep in mind with a reader. It could just be you making decisions. It depends on what it is, and it depends on what degree that decision is going to impact your life. And of course, here's the thing. I do not believe my life is determined by a deck of cards in any way, shape, or form. And I don't think you should either. And because of that, because I still believe that I personally am the master of my destiny, I can suddenly decide that I want to change my destiny. It'll be something I'll cover in a later video. But because I firmly believe that I am the master of my destiny, if a reader's reading is inaccurate, I do recognize that I could have personally influenced that. And that is something that you definitely need to keep in mind as you seek out a reader. You also need to seek out a reader that is going to be impartial and provide you with both aspects of your reading. It is very easy with a lot of current spiritual content creators to fall into the trap of love and light only. I know that's a very big thing within the spiritual community. Like, that's like the mainstream thought is love and light, when we really need to acknowledge the polarity. And having a reader that is going to acknowledge the polarity that exists within our dimension is great. Estara even states that from the get-go, so you know what to expect. Another thing to be aware of when you choose a reader is just kind of having a little bit of knowledge of their chosen method of divination. I say that because I read my own tarot. There have been other times, for example, I've had other people read for me, like Estara, and I've had another person read for me. Having a little bit of knowledge with that reader's chosen medium just kind of helps with making sure you're not getting the wool pulled over your eyes, you're not being fooled, you're not being lied to or anything like that, or they're not trying to manipulate you. Because there are a lot of fake readers out here. There are a lot of people that are just looking to steal your money. Some red flags that I will mention to you when it comes to looking for readers. If someone messages you out of the blue on any sort of social media platform, they are not the reader for you. Your ancestors would not go to a whole nother person to have something communicated to you. If they need to tell you something, they're going to tell you straight up. Also, with someone reaching out to you. Now, this I covered on my TikTok, and if you guys haven't seen it, maybe I'll link it or something. But a while back on TikTok, someone reached out to me asking me if I wanted a reading from them. I said no, and then they proceeded to continue to message me. It was a scam account, but my main thing is readers will respect your energy, they'll respect your boundaries, they'll respect your personal space, because they know the meaning of that, and they won't give you very generalized answers that could be gleaned off social media. The reader that tried to attempt to scam me and obviously failed was providing a reading based off of just stuff that I had talked about in general over my social media page. Also, they were accessing my energy without my permission. That's something super big. Please keep in mind, watchers, viewers, all that stuff. If you're new in the spiritual community or you're seasoned, you know to protect your energy. You know to keep your energy contained, closed off, and unaccessible to others. If someone's just out here reaching out to reach into your energy, if they attempt to, they should not be able to get through. Your spiritual team should immediately cut them off and be like, no, you're not allowed to access this energy. And like I said, because I'm already like that, and that's how I knew that they were fake, because I was like, my spiritual team's gonna tell you no anyways, because I have that mindset of no one can access my energy unless I allow them to. If someone randomly messages you and they start seeming like they are accessing your energy without permission, red flag. Also, accessing someone's energy without their permission is an invasion of privacy, and that is privacy is one of those universal things that you don't want to mess with. So immediately that reader's getting into territory that they should not be in, karmic territory that they should not be in, if they start doing that for you. Another thing you want to be on the lookout for with a reader is that they're respecting your privacy. Now, by respecting privacy, I mean that they will not be disclosing what happened in your reading to anyone else. They will essentially be keeping it to themselves. They respect the energy and privacy that's coming through with your reading. They're not going to be telling your business out to the whole world or anything like that. The reader may use you as an example, and that is completely okay. They may remove your name from it. They may remove anything that identifies you specifically, unless you've got a whole bunch of family members follow one particular reader and all of your family can identify your situation for very specific details of your situation. Because usually the reader will leave out specific details to make it vague as possible, because they want to be able to provide the example while not give away the identity of the client, and they will respect the private identity of the client. So that's something else you want to look for in a reader. And you also want to make sure that you choose a reader that is going to empower you. So you don't want a reader that's going to keep you coming back and keep you in a position where you need to ask if it's okay to breathe or not breathe. Your reader is going to give you advice to be able to be empowered to move forward with your life and to make your decisions or move forward with confidence. So overall, I really did like my reading that I got with Estara, and I definitely recommend checking her out, especially since she's one of my friends and she does a great job with reading and she has a lot of information and knowledge. I also, I've been meaning to kind of shout her out. I haven't done that yet, but I've been meaning to shout her out because she also looks at spirituality from a way different perspective than me. And I think it's really important that you have a different perspective to take spirituality from, because you may not see it the way I see it, but you may relate to Estara's method way more better than you relate to mine, and that's completely okay. We're all here just unique spiritual beings having a human experience, and same idea phrased by her in her own way, then you need to hear it from me because she's gonna tell it in a way that's more relatable to you. Anyways, that is it for my review on my reading with Estara. Please make sure to check her out. I will be linking her either up here in the cards, or I'm gonna link her channel right here, or you guys can check her out in the comments below. Let me know if you guys do get a reading from her and what you guys think. I don't need to know specifically what you had read, but just let me know what you guys think of her as a reader, and feel free to leave your reviews as well. One thing I really do want to make sure I use my platform for is supporting other Black spiritual content creators, and I've been meaning to do a video for Estara for quite some time. So Estara, I'm sorry this took me so long with getting done. Of course, you already know what has been going on to result in this delay, but I do want to be able to you guys are gonna hopefully see this from me more, me shouting out Black spiritual content creators or Black spiritual creators of any sort, whether they make tarot cards, whether they make oracle cards, if they run a botanica, stuff like that. I'm gonna shout them out. I want to give them much love, and I want to promote them on my channel, whether or not it's an official promotion, like a ad or paid promotion or anything like that, or if it's sponsorship or anything like that. Your girl gotta make her money. She gotta get to the bag, and I'm not gonna blame you if you get to your bag. However, you gotta get to your bag, so y'all shouldn't be looking at me like you gonna blame me for how I get to my bag. So hopefully I will be getting more content out there for you guys very, very soon. Hopefully that you guys have found this video to be useful. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can see the videos whenever they come out. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every time I put the video out. And please be sure to follow me on all my social media pages, because I do vary my content across all platforms. There are gems everywhere. And also be sure to check out the blog post related to picking out a intuitive reader for yourself. Thank you, divinities, for watching my video, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye.